So now we have our video and audio embedded in a page using HTML5, and we've provided multiple versions of the source so that all HTML5 browsers can play back the media. The next step is to provide a playback method for browsers and devices that don't support HTML5 media. This is going to be any browser below the versions you see here, which include IE versions 6, 7, and 8. This could be as much as 50% of your audience, so it's going to be important to account for them. Now, there's many different options for possible fallback technologies, including Flash, Silverlight, QuickTime, and Java. But I'm going to go with Flash because it's the most widely supported and the most widely used plugin for web video. Still, many of these instructions will apply to other fallback options as well. So what we need is a Flash player embed code. If you already have a Flash player for your website, you can feel free to use that. I'm going to be using the Flash Media Playback Player, which is a free and hosted Flash video player by Adobe that's easy to configure. I'm going to go ahead and do that for our podcast. Our file is going to be hosted at explorercalifornia.org, and it has to be hosted online. It can't be hosted on your computer. Because this player is hosted on another website, you can't refer to your source as if it's on your website. So our source is in the video assets folder, and we're going to use the podcast.mp4 source because MP4 is the version that will play in Flash. All right, let's configure the rest of these options. Are you using HTTP streaming? No, we're not. The width of our video is 480 pixels, and the height is 300. Control bar position, it can either be docked or floating. I'm just going to leave it docked. Auto hide, that's fine. For the poster, we have a poster. I'm going to use the same URL from our source, but the file is podcastposter.jpg. Include button overlay, that's the big play button in the middle, we'll leave that. Auto loop, no. Autoplay, no. We don't want either of those. We configure it and go down to preview and click that. And we can see it's built our Flash player for us. And it works how we want it to. So great, that was easy. Now what we can do is take this object embed code and copy it and bring it over to our code. Now if you're following along in the exercise files, we're now in the 3-01 folder in the video.html file. And up until this point, we've had just a simple paragraph that says your browser does not support HTML5 video. But we can use this area for any type of fallback. And so this is where we're going to put our Flash player. And we can just paste that in the place of our paragraph. So I'm going to save that. And now I'm going to go view this in a version of Opera that's prior to the version of Opera that supported HTML5 video. So we can actually see what happens when the browser falls back to Flash. If you have a PC and Internet Explorer 6, 7, or 8, you can do the same thing with either of those browsers. So I go to Opera. I haven't reloaded the page yet, so we can see what it looks like when it falls back with just the paragraph. So you can see it says your browser does not support HTML5 video. Now if we reload the page, we can see it fall back to Flash, and it's worked. And we can play, and it works as expected. All right, so that's how you use a Flash video player as your fallback for HTML5 video. If you're working with HTML5 audio, you'll add your Flash audio player's embed code in the exact same way we did for video. If you don't have a Flash audio player yet, I would suggest the WordPress audio player, which you can see here. It's a nice compact player, and while it sounds like it's just for WordPress, you can actually download a standalone version that will work for any site. You can find that under the standalone version link. If you're interested in learning more about Flash video players or Flash Media Playback, there's another great Lynda tutorial called Publishing Video with the Flash Platform that you should check out. But what we just covered should do the job of a Flash fallback for you, so you can deliver video to all your users that don't support HTML5 video and audio.